Welcome to the Rad DudeCast. My name is Brendan Ayer. This is the podcast where three just great friends, well, two great friends and one idiot, me, they don't like me, sit around, talk,
nothing to do with you being an idiot.
Discuss the big topics, the small topics, everything you want. It's like being inside a comedian's brain. I'm joined, as always, by Anthony DeVito and Greg Stone. And I'd like to apologize for today's episode being delivered a little late. If you don't follow my Instagram, the reasons were made clear. Greg was involved in a sword fight with a Spaniard, and Anthony has a bad case of his penis continues to get larger, but never so large as so that it cannot still please a woman. It's a devastating disease. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. Of course, today we are talking impeachment and Valentine's Day, or anything else that comes up.
Yeah.
What is happening? What the hell is going on here with this podcast?
Talking about Brendan was trying to do a concise introduction, but I've got things to say. First of all, did you watch the? I didn't. Brendan did his Instagram story, and then he texted me and he goes, "Man, did you watch my video? I think I did a good one." So then I went, "Yeah, I watched it, man. You left him with a real cliffhanger." And then it turned out I didn't hit the button right. Yeah, I only saw the first 20 seconds of it. 15. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah. As soon as you said cliffhanger, I went, there was clearly more to the story that he didn't watch.
No, because I think when I reposted it, Instagram only lets you do a couple seconds.
No, they come in parts, Anthony. As if you've noticed, they're broken up into 15-second parts. So when you reposted it before watching, reposted it, and then saw that the 15 seconds that you reposted, you didn't see and as a man who is known for your 4-minute chit chats, you should be on top of this.
Well, I only know how to do my chit chats. I don't know about other people's chit chats. I'm glad they're out there. I'm glad you're doing them. But yeah, so I'm, well, thanks for doing that. And Greg, what's your issue? You were like, what the hell's going on with this podcast?
Oh, we got this whole new setup thing I guess we're doing, which is good, I guess, about telling people what the podcast is. Yeah, but then I feel like we got to do that.
Yeah, I did think that was the major discussion we had. I could retract it.
Long meeting about it.
We did? About doing
you what? Were there, you were vocal, you were a large part of this meeting.
Yeah, but I didn't know we were doing I didn't know you do a description in the beginning of what we're doing. I'm fine with it. It just seems like I'm mad. I'm not mad.
It does seem like you're, I'd say
I'm not mad. I feel that I'm chained now. I'm chained now to these things we have to do.
I said and more, and I said I might not even get to that. But Anthony was very clear. He thinks subject-oriented material might be the way to go.
Right.
Yeah. Look,
you're right.
I could care less about a growing population. I'm happy with the fellas and gals that we got. I'm looking out for you, Greg, because I know you want more guts and glory than what we got.
I want clickbait. We got to be clickbait.
Yeah, you want the clickbait fame that a hot take podcast provides.
What I want is you to understand that I want to understand why you have all the lights out in your house and a blinding light in your face, and you think that's lighting. You clearly, what is happening over there?
Well, because you gave me this, Greg. Well, first of all, sorry, my iPad is ringing like crazy. I don't know how to turn this thing off. Every time I get a phone call, it goes through every machine that I own.
Apple does that.
But regardless of that, Greg, so once again, Brenda, I think you know this. I spilled coffee all over the computer that I just got. So that thing is in the shop, probably be in the shop for a month. Apple's running me circles. So Greg, nice guy that he is, gave me one of his extra laptops. I don't know why he has 100 computers, but he does. This thing is the size of a flat screen television. It's so large that my ring light can't fit on my desk with this thing because it's not as compact as my other computer. So I got to use my goddamn desk lamp, which really lights up my face.
Right. It's a 16-inch MacBook Pro from 2011 that God bless Mr. Tom Bono gave to his dad. His stepdad works for like some company that does like, not stepdad, father-in-law works for some company where they like wipe stuff, and he gave it to me, and that got me through 90% of my life. Then but I just got a new computer, and that thing's still working. I pulled the trigger on the computer before I needed to get rid of it, but that thing's working pretty good, and so you got it now.
Puppy roars.
Yeah,
I don't know how to handle a machine.
Pretty good,
fast.
right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, when you delete something on this thing, it's like a car with what are they called? I mean, engines. I know they're brakes.
You could have a turbo with brakes. Brakes is what you were
tight
looking
brakes,
for.
right?
Height brakes.
Isn't that like when people go, these brakes are tight? Do people say that?
Tight brakes.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
why
good
the computer
brakes,
tight brakes?
But why when bragging about cars, it's not often like you don't get a bunch of car heads going around going, I'm running 800 horses under the hood, and some other guy goes, my brakes are proficient.
You've never watched Kevin James' The Crew.
Yeah. I can stop on a dime.
Well, what I'm saying is the delete key is tight, man. You'll go to delete one letter, it'll delete a whole sentence for you. That's what I mean.
Oh, no, you spilled coffee on it. That's what happened there. That's the sign of a sticky key from some coffee. You already got coffee on that computer. You haven't had it 48 hours.
That's the best
button was not tight like that.
No. I got close with some tzatziki sauce last night. I'll be honest, but nothing happened.
That's the best thing about Anthony is that he is a manufacturer's dream, because when he breaks something, he thinks it's a feature. Like, man, they got these new delete buttons. Delete your whole goddamn page. It's great. You press it once, lose all your work.
Yeah. You know what I like? And this computer's not like it has a self-driving trackpad, which I'm loving.
Self-driving. Oh yeah, again, that's coffee.
Yeah,
coffee. Put coffee on my computer.
Coffee, yeah,
I still need. It's not like a for you forever thing. I mean, if your computer, if you don't get the other computer, you can borrow that. But I'd like to try to get it back in some kind of. I'd like to cut back to that. You think that car heads are talking about tight brakes?
No, I don't think they're car heads.
Car heads aren't sitting here like. Sitting there like, what do you got, nitrous? Rack and pinion steering. Anti-lock brakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You put in a twin turbo. Great, dude. I've got child safety locks, okay?
I just meant that tight brakes were a car that was a part of car terminology. That's all I meant.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's car terminology. I think it's what to describe something in a car. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a reach for that one.
So tight brakes is not a thing people say.
A salesperson wouldn't approach you and say, this car has tight brakes. A salesperson isn't going to say that.
Right.
I mean, I think honestly, like, it's like, I guess if I could put it this way, like if we're doing it in terms of computers, it's like tight brakes would be the equivalent of like, hey man, this thing's capable of email. Like the brakes should be tight. You know what I mean? Mention it if they are otherwise. Do you know what the brakes should stop you as you hit them tightly? You know, you got to mention the brakes are pretty loose on this thing. Like I'm halfway through the intersection. Because I mean, I don't know. I bet there is some interesting brake talk. And none of us are big time car guys. I bet there is some interesting brake talk in like drifters and like Gymkhana guys, like Ken Block, like that type of shit. Because I think brakes are very important there, where you have to like hit the brakes and release the brakes and drift and do all that shit. Maybe they're doing some brake inspection talk.
Drifting is if I know from Crash Team Racing, drifting is complicated, and not every animal can do it equally.
Man, you gotta get Mario Kart. Enough of this bullshit.
I know. We cannot, Greg. I don't think we can really like allow this any longer for this Crash Bandicoot Racing. You got to get Mario Kart.
They don't. Well, they stopped making Switches.
They did not. They did not. They did not stop making switches. It was harder to get one in the very beginning of COVID, which is now a year ago. They were a little bit sold out because of COVID, as everything wasn't happening. But they did not stop making switches. You want to switch? Well,
I'll take you. Probably this guy's got so many extra pieces of technology in his home. I wouldn't be surprised if Greg has 13 switches on him. I don't be surprised if Greg's got a Nintendo Jumbo Switch.
I also want to backtrack. I do want to backtrack from the tight brakes issue to the fact that I want to know what you were working with previously. That Greg has given you a 16-inch screen, which you described as what did he just call it, Greg?
No, yeah.
A widescreen television.
I hate to take his side on this. God knows I hate to take it. The man's brain is looser than a bunch of mashed potatoes watered down. But I'll tell you, the 13-inch in comparison to the 16-inch, the 16-inch is a big daddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does look pretty big.
It's even the key. Yeah, like there's the keyboard ends and then there's just space on the side, and it's a good 4.5 pounds.
Part of me thinks Greg has done this on purpose. He's trolling my height. Because you got to see,
I want you to feel smaller.
You got to see my little cat paws try to type on this thing. It really looks weird.
He comes in
it's like in Big. They're going to have to play the keyboard on Big. He's just dancing around.
It does look like that. This computer has been bullying me all day.
Yeah, he comes in every night with a slightly larger computer and sneaks it in, so you think you're shrinking.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is man. This guy, he'll take every step that he can to try to bully me, you know.
Now, let's dive right in. Valentine's Day, as we all know, a made-up holiday, you know, created by the big cunnilingus and fellatio corporations, you know, for the people get their yearly blowjobs, eat outs out of the way on Valentine's Day. Anyway, thoughts on the holiday, expectations, things you did. Go ahead, hit me.
Well, I'll let Greg go first because I've hogged a lot of time here.
Well, I'll tell you this. Clearly, no one did their homework and no one has anything prepared. So we just went right down. Brendan said, I'll let Anthony start. And Anthony said, hot potato right over to Greg. But guess what? I don't got shit either.
All right.
I give you something to say. Oh, go ahead.
No. I have something to say, but I felt like I'd spent so much time talking about this, describing this computer and the idea of tight brakes that I monopolized this whole podcast.
No, I love listening to hear you talk.
Especially people that have come here for hot takes, man. We're a hot take cast now.
I thought I had a hot take of a joke that nobody cared about, because everyone always says Valentine's. Oh, it's just the stooge or the big greeting card companies, and I changed it to the fellatio and cunnilingus companies. Nobody cared.
Oh, I didn't even see that, man. I accepted that as that's what it is. I had no idea.
So you accepted that there were fellatio and cunnilingus corporations.
Well, yeah, the porno industry, right?
Right. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But Greg, go ahead. You had a thought.
Yeah, it's a two-parter, but both are very quick.
Great.
One, I did absolutely nothing for Tita on Valentine's Day. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Like, I just completely... Our wedding anniversary is on the 15th. So we don't really... We also don't do Valentine's Day because it's my mom's birthday.
Right.
And what we'll usually do is we'll plan... When Valentine's Day comes, we both get nervous and we go, neither of us did anything. Let's plan. And then in a month, we'll do something. Because we also don't like to go out to eat on those days. It's hard outdoor dining.
Yeah.
On this, let me tell you, man, on this, I forgot to do everything. And I like to be romantic, and Tita is not. She's not really into anything. So I dropped the ball, but I want to tell you about the worst Valentine's. Did I ever tell you about this? High school.
I don't know. I can't wait.
I was dating a girl I was in love with. She had broken up with me about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month or two before. Valentine's Day comes and just random. And she was like, do you want to hang out? We're both single. You want to just, like she kind of wanted to see me. Now looking back, it was like, oh, it was Valentine's Day and you felt alone. So you went back to the ex-boyfriend, who knows? Anyway, she wanted to meet up to talk. So I was like, all right, we can meet up to talk. And I was like, where do you want to go? And she was like, I don't know, let's just go to Pizza Hut or something. Right. So we went to Pizza Hut. Waiter walks over and goes, can I help you guys? And I was like, yeah, well, yeah. What?
Was it one of the ones, sorry to interrupt, was it one of the ones with the salad bar?
They all got the salad bar.
I got salad
Great.
bars.
Awesome. Okay, keep going.
No,
Keep going.
my God.
Because they've taken some of those away, and I love salad bars.
You just take right away from my story. You took the air
I
right out of
raised
the
my
tires
hand.
for
You
that.
could have said no questions. You could have said no questions.
I'm not going to keep talking with a guy who's worried about his hand. I can't keep talking now as Anthony's lips are moving. And I'm like, I know now I have to pull over to the side. It's like a little kid holding his penis. It's like one of you are going to pee in the back seat. So no, we have to stop the trip.
I like to think about it. It makes me fun to think about. It makes me feel good to think about those old salad bars because they were nice, man. Those are good.
No, man,
salad
you're
bars.
thinking of Charlie Brown's. Charlie Brown's is a salad bar place, and there are no salad bars anymore because of COVID. Anthony,
okay, go ahead.
This is what you're doing to my story. This.
I love salad bars, man. They used to have them at Wendy's, you know.
You got to, and no, that was a Fixins bar. That was not a salad bar.
No.
Never had a salad bar.
They had the salad bar. They had the salad bar, and then what would happen was the old guys would come in and get coffee and eat croutons all day long.
You're all going to bed without a story. That's
I want the story.
Anthony, you go ahead, Anthony. Maybe you'll say something that'll bring everyone to action.
No, I was gonna say, Brenda, man, when you got one of those, you put that in the chat. You would send that one up. You would privately send that one to Michael. Hey man, they ever make any Pizza Hut without salad bars? And Michael get back to you on that one.
Well, you got what I'm the master of, and you guys are not good at is the real quick under talk, right? So if Anthony's going on about his story, I just go, "Was there a salad bar there?" You just go, "Was there a salad bar there?" And you go, "No salad bar." And here's what happened. You don't go, "Hold up." And Mike, I swear to God,
see, that's a full. No, that's the Fixins bar.
bar.
That's the full salad bar. That's the full salad bar. See, salad bar in the Wendy's salad bar. Yep. Now, anyway, keep going with the story. Fantastic answer.
The story's not
question.
good enough. And
so you're with this lady.
No,
you're with this lady. You love
Anthony.
her.
What were you saying? Anthony?
So I really am so excited for the end of this story, but I'm laughing so hard about the chain of events that have happened so far.
It's not good enough of a story to take such we just stopped at a rest stop when we were going 3 blocks away. That's how far the story. This wasn't a great enough story to have such an elaborate rest stop.
Right.
So I'm going to end the story, and you're going to be like, "Well, why'd we even go here?" And it's like, "Well, it was only supposed to be around the block. It was just a quick one."
Can I tell you what happened? This is what happened, and I apologize. I'm hungry, and you got to talking about Pizza Hut, and I love the salad bar at Pizza Hut. So I immediately, my hand shot up. And then once my hand was shot up, I go, I'm fucking the story up. But I do want to hear about the salad bar. Anyway, I beg of you. I don't care if we're just going through.
It's fine. I'm going to tell the story, but when I finish the story, it's going to be like, it's not good enough.
Right.
It's not a good enough story. It was just what I like to do is I like to call these little volley stories. Gets us going. Gets us going. Yes. But if you take the air out of the car,
I know.
You know the story sucks.
I apologize. That I will not ask about salad bars anymore.
It doesn't need an apology.
It doesn't need an apology. It needs to change.
Here we go talking about cars again.
Oh my God.
I just love that this is what happened when we tried to talk about current events. We switched over formatting to try to reach a broader audience. And here we are screaming at each other about Greg telling a story. Please, but go ahead. I am very excited. I don't care about this lengthy rest stop trip that we took. I'm so happy to get to a block away. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's right. So anyway, we sit down, me and the girl, we're sitting down and we're kind of like talking about the relationship. Like, have you been single? And she's like, I don't know. I think I miss you. And I'm like, yeah, I think I miss you too. Like that kind of sad shit. Anyway, waiter comes over and I want to say in the history of rude things a waiter could say, I don't know that any other waiter can beat this one. He just sits down and goes, yeah, like I get you. And I go, I'm kind of sad. We'll do the meat lovers, and he goes, so do you take all of your Valentine's Day dates to Pizza Hut? And like, what a dick. I mean, my heart was broke. This girl had broken up to me.
Right.
And I said to him, I went, dude, what the fuck are you? He was like, this bitch broke up with me. Right. And then he walks away and she goes, bitch. And I was like, I mean, you got to understand that this is like a hard situation here. And, that's the whole thing. Is it like, and then I tipped him, of course, 50% because, I'm a fucking, that's how I always, I'm a goddamn I got problems.
Italian to the bone, man.
What the
Italian
fuck?
to the bone.
Doesn't matter how sad you are, you're still Italian.
What the fuck was that guy doing? He works there, and it's Valentine's Day, and he's giving you shit. It's like, buddy, this is you're trying to make money here. What are you doing?
You don't open with that. Anthony.
Yeah, you certainly don't open with that.
Yeah, well, I've got a theory. I think those jobs this is just such dead end jobs. They're such bad jobs that you're looking to die. You know what I mean?
Got a death wish.
Yeah, man. You're looking for a way out.
Yeah.
So you're going up to every customer and going, what are you going to get? Fuckface?
Oh man, Tita and I had to go to New Jersey today, and we had like this whole bunch of car inspection, all this crap. Anyway, Tita hands me a wad of cash. It must be like $200 in like 10s and 20s, and because I had to go in to talk to the guy, and she goes, and I ended up whatever, and I go, I don't need the cash now, and she goes, well, just hold on to the cash. I know you like to have a wad of cash on you, which was never realizing how well she knows me. Like, she knows how Italian I am, that I like to always have just a wad of cash in my hand where I can just go, well, let me take care of you. Let me take care of him. Like, it's so true. I always feel so good when I have a nice, like, I think when I'm like rich, I'm going to always have like $1,000 on me in just cash that I can just throw away money. Anyway, I thought it was a real nice thing to meet about.
Did you
my wife.
get to the car inspection place and Tita was like, okay, pay him, and you were like, I can't. I tipped the guy who pushed the walk button $700. So sorry. Out of money.
Yeah. I'll say I would love a wad of cash. I'd love a wad of cash for just the licking stick.
Licking stick is great.
That's fun, man. You know?
Yeah.
Give him a brush off.
My hands don't have enough friction. I gotta add some liquid spit to this.
Yeah. This money is too dry for you.
You guys want to see? You guys want to see a wad of cash? Because I keep I won't say where. I don't want burglars, but I do keep my bug out money. You want me to show you a?
Yeah, get something to eat while you go.
This guy's still mad about this. I just wanted to know if
hungry. I'm worried about you're hungry.
I wanted to know if there was a salad bar, and I'm sorry. I immediately regretted it. It was wrong to do that during your story. It was wrong.
I remember the salad bar from Wendy's now. Even me looking at the picture didn't ring a bell, but I do remember the salad bar now.
I like a good salad bar. That's it.
But I wouldn't say Wendy's is a good one.
No, it was a bad one, but I like any salad bar, really, you know?
Charlie Brown's did a good one. If I could introduce them into the fold.
I just said that a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned that. But I wanted to go back to that. Charlie Brown's, they had an exquisite salad bar because they would offer a couple different varieties of croutons, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
They'd offer a dark cube and a light cube.
Yeah, spicy cube. One of them was like a spicier cube.
Yeah.
Right. Next to also
Tuesday.
Right. No, I would say they would also have the sugar cubes, which work for coffee, but I thought that was a salad thing. And so I would put sugar cubes on my salad. And I was like, you'd think this would be good. And it just wasn't good. But that's where I was introduced to the sugar cube.
I don't know who would think it would be good, but
you put it way too close to the salad bar. People are going to put it in their salad.
Well, yes. Yeah, of course.
That and sweet and low. I like a nice sweet and low on my salad.
Also, too, when you're a kid, you're like, salad is blah, you know?
Yeah.
But sugar is all right. So it's like, fuck it. Why isn't anyone doing this? You know, you see yourself as a pioneer. You kind of go, well, you know, until Louis Pasteur came around, we were just drinking a bunch of bad milk. Why can't I be him?
Yeah. Man, I tell you, one of my favorite salad bar moves. This is the Ruby Tuesdays in Willowbrook Mall. This guy, Chris, I told you a story about this guy, Chris, in the past. Chris is the guy who got fired from Sears because we threw the alarms on him, and turns out he was stealing a bunch of stuff and he ran. Right. Anyway, we go to lunch. Chris was already at lunch. He was supposed to come back. He wasn't. Me and my guy are at lunch. We see Chris in almost a full out fist fight with the manager, who is screaming, "You can't take all the hard-boiled eggs." And he's going, "I paid for the salad bar. This is how many hard-boiled eggs I want to take. I don't even want the other things." He thought that he could just pay for the salad bar and dump all the hard-boiled eggs and just get 50 hard-boiled eggs, eat that for lunch, and leave. And they were screaming in each other's faces. That's just great. Like, get the fuck out. And he was like, I'll fucking kill everybody. And I was like, he's got a point, but also we are a civilization. Okay. We know you don't just eat all the goddamn hard-boiled eggs.
Well, the problem is because he's right. Like, right. Chris is right. There are no rules, but let's keep it that way. You start doing that, they're going to make rules on you. They're going to go 2 plates per person. It's like, you're taking advantage. Don't take all the hard-boiled eggs. That's a high value item in the salad bar chain of events. Take all the lettuce if you want. That stuff's, they're swimming in it.
This is not the salad bar. The buffet is not a post-apocalyptic gasoline world. You know what I mean? And I think people do approach it that way, where it's like, there's still civility to be had here. We're indoors, man.
Yeah.
Just because you're in control of however much goes on your plate doesn't mean you can take all the goddamn crinkly corn.
He had taken the metal canister out. Like he had it in his hand. Like he lifted the metal canister out and was like, "See you guys later." Like just handing like a goddamn football.
Yeah. I'd also like to say too, if you're on the other end of that spectrum, if you're screaming at another man, you can't take all the goddamn hard-boiled eggs. It's a time for reflection. Whatever led you to that point needs to be evaluated.
Yeah.
What Chris was doing in the salad bar is kind of like what they said Trump did to the presidency, where they were like, "There's a lot of rules that we didn't say we had to say." Now they're like, "Well,
yes, exactly."
Like, "No, man, we better get it on. We better get it on paper for the next guy, the crazier guy who comes back next week."
Yeah, totally, man. That's what I said. The one thing his presidency will do is a complete overhaul of the Constitution, because they're gonna have to be like, and actually I used to do this as a joke, but they're gonna have to be like Amendment 101, no throwing ham at a UN meeting. Didn't think we'd ever have to say that, but now we got to, I guess. See, we tackled the impeachment pretty good there.
Yeah, got it, nailed it down.
My brother, one day we're at the buffet, and there's this little motherfucker who literally is taking because this happens a lot if you're at a buffet, all of the crab legs. And like, different than Chris's scenario. And I'm 99% sure this was a 30-second exchange where the guy was putting all the crab legs and someone else was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And he was like, "I can do what I want." And then he turns around, my brother is standing there and he goes, "What do you think you're doing?" And the guy went, "Sorry," and just started putting crab leg. Joe just used his 6-foot intimidating tattooed self to get, because my brother loves crab legs. If you know anything about the wolf, that guy's loves seafood. He loves lobster. He loves mussels. So he saw them and he scared the shit out of this little gambler at the Borgata to put the crab legs back.
Yeah, Joe has Joe's one of the warmest people I really have ever known. But he does have, if you didn't know that, he's got a presence to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes beyond just the height, because some people have height, but you're like, I could snap you like a twig tall, man. But Joe's got, and Joe also too, he's like, I mean, he's not a muscular guy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Joe's a string bean.
He's not ripped. He's not string bean though.
He's not a string bean. He's not ripped. But there's a girth that he's got. There's a walk that he's got to him that's just like, I know not to mess with this guy.
He's got heavy bones. He's got heavy bones.
Yeah, maybe
he'll beat the shit out of you. That's what I mean. We're friends, but like, yeah. I mean, he's not just all talk. Joe. I think Joe beats people up.
Yeah, not anymore so much.
No, but in his prime,
he used to fight a lot.
Yeah. What I mean is like, when like Bill Clinton, like people would go, he's just got a charisma to him that we just can't put our finger on. Like Joe has that with being intimidating. I don't know what it is.
It's funny because I understand it. Like I've seen his band and I've seen pictures of him.
Right.
But like as his brother growing up with him, it's like, I'm immune to it. Like him and I used to fight all the time. We used to fight all the time. Not all the time, we would fight. And then I remember one time we were like fighting and I kind of like, not that I won, but I was on top of him or something. And then at the end he went, I didn't fight you the most I could fight you. Right?
Yeah. And just to say, I've never been afraid of Joe, but I could see it in strangers' eyes if there's like a moment of like, I might have to fight this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I told you the time we're at the banner show. I don't know if I told you we're at the show, and I was standing next to Joe's girlfriend, and some kid. These kids would dance, or mosh or whatever. And this guy just goes to spin kick his girlfriend, but I just grabbed the kid and threw him. And as I'm throwing him, someone comes behind me and like comes after me and starts choking me, but if I'm behind, I don't know what happens. But then that guy kind of gets pulled over, and some security guard grabs me and runs. and I didn't really know what had kind of happened. But anyway, the kid, all I hear is, what? And then Joe goes on the microphone and says, if anyone touches my brother, I will cut your heart out with a spoon. I will kill every last motherfucker in here and not miss a minute of sleep. And the entire room stopped. And I went, holy shit. So what had happened was I had pushed some kid who was in this gang, some bullshit gang, and somebody else came after me. But the security guard, knowing I was Joe's brother, grabbed me and was like, I'm going to get him out of here before this explodes. Right. And then Joe, scared, I literally watched him scare the shit out of 200 people on the microphone. Like a room stopped. And I went, oh, I guess he is intimidating. It was like a wild day. Anyway, nothing really happened to me.
Yeah.
And the kid we ended up talking anyway. And the kid was like, oh, I didn't know you were Joe's brother. I love you. I love you, brother. I was like, whatever, dude.
And you're like, hey, man, so you're just spin kicking guys you didn't know were Joe's brother? Also not great.
Spin kicking girls. He wasn't spin kicking me. He was spin kicking the girl next to me.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm just trying to get them. I'm trying to keep them safe.
Yeah. Like Jimmy Iron Fingers. They all had names. They were like Billy Winkle, old Scorpion Rick. They were all those guys. I don't know if you
What do you mean, the moshers? Oh, everybody in
all the kids in the hardcore scene had a name. It was like Jimmy Little. Tony. It's like they're like the mob. They always had these weird little Willy Fingers. It was like wild.
If I had known that. I might have joined. The idea of a name is fun.
Yeah,
I'm not one for all the the dark clothing and stuff like that. But the
dark clothing.
Yeah, they wear a lot of dark clothing. No, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I wear black because we're all colorblind.
It's like a casual funeral in there. That's how I always saw it.
I think it's like if anything, it's more like a extraordinarily elevated energy funeral. You know, it's I don't know. Casual is the word. It says some
dress
kind of
code. I meant
you. The dress code, sure, but in fact, the actual show itself, you've wandered into sort of the death, the funeral of a post-apocalyptic sort of leader, evil leader. You know, like a Mad Max, the bad guy in Mad Max. That's how they celebrate his death with kicking each other and spin kicks and that type of music.
I wonder if there was, because I know Satanism, I don't know that it played a hand in this, but people's fear.
No, it's got nothing to do with Satanism.
You don't know if it did or not. Okay, yeah.
Well,
I don't know if Satanism had played a hand in this.
What I'm saying is people's fear of Satanism, because, I think people live with this, like, they won't even admit it to themselves, but they live with this little bit of fear that the devil can be conjured somehow. You just have to align the right parts. And I do think, looking at that scene, I think they're trying to bring him up somehow. And if they all hit the same motion at the same time, he's going to come back. So I'm worried that's what's going on here.
I do love how you said everyone lives with the fear that Satan can be brought up if somehow the right parts are aligned. And Greg,
the candles, the moons.
Greg, being the great friend that he is, just goes right. Yep. Everyone does have that fear that if somehow they inadvertently do the wrong form of movement, Satan's parts will all come together and he will arise.
Satan's into art. If you can draw a pentagram or the right kind of picture, Satan will show his face.
Yeah. It seems like he likes chants. That seems to be like the big, you can bring him back by way of a chant and, drop a shoe in a cauldron. But
no email system.
No email system. This guy will only come back. You got to do a really archaic sort of maneuver.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And what a silly, you're right, man. I never really hit upon that as like what a silly thing. And what a prima donna move by Satan to be like, you really want me back? Well, here's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to burn the right sticks at the right hour under the right tree with the right goat.
Yeah. At some point, it's like, hey, man, it's fine. You're Satan. But let's just come clean. You got a virgin's blood fetish. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because you claim you can hear everything. So why can't I just say, hey, buddy, need you? You got. I gotta kill a 16-year-old on a cloudless night on a leap year. Come on, man, you're just into weird shit.
I always wondered if a lot of those like Satanists were just running around being like, "Does dry humping count? Does dry humping? She was on a horse and her hymen broke. What is it? Full penetration? Is it a fingering? Like because scientists, 4 out of 5 scientists will agree. Your blood really doesn't change after you have sex. It's pretty much the same blood. It's not a whole,
No,
it's not
and
like
the fifth is a Satanist.
Yeah.
I got a foolproof plan should I ever run into Satan that I think is really going to get to him. I've had it for a long time. I'm going to pretend I don't know of him and repeatedly mispronounce his name Satin. And I feel like he's never had anyone take such a passive aggressive, belittling methodology of dealing with him, and that it's really going to throw his whole game off.
I think it's a great move. Yeah. Everyone tries to fight him with some kind of special sword that's been, dipped in a priest's mouth.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
But
it's a classic one. The priest mouth dipped sword. I don't know what movie was it. Blade? Was that in Blade? Where they went? Someone get a priest over here to lick this sword? Whatever. Sword swallowing priest.
Yeah,
in a priest's mouth.
There's this like mysterious lore that comes along with this weaponry, but then there's like the schematics of it where you're like, well, what counts as a dip? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They say stuff like that, and then the sword doesn't work, and now you're left with this thing in Satan's belly. Meanwhile, he's just fine, and you're going, I guess I should have kept it in that guy's mouth longer.
Yeah.
I often think, man, you ever watched the Weather Channel? I'm not really sure if you're familiar how rain works.
I used to more, yeah.
But a rain will work through evaporation, right? So if you've got holy water, at some point it will evaporate and then turn into rain, right? And then as that rain falls on a vampire, do they die? Right? Yeah, can a priest just bless the clouds or the ocean, and then it's just blessed forever? So these goddamn night stalkers can't go to the beach?
This is a great point. They should do that. Like those propeller planes that just kind of spray pesticide over.
Holy water. Do it
they
over
should
the whole
just
world.
do that over the ocean, man. That's just a great move, Greg.
Yeah.
Of what, holy water?
Yeah.
Have a priest go to the beach, look at the ocean, and go, I bless all of this.
Right.
Isn't it? Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Holy water is just regular water. Yes.
I'm hearing it now. Yep. It's not special water.
No, it's just regular water that a priest has blessed and made holy.
Right. Totally.
Which they seem to be only capable. They're sort of like a brewery in Austin. They seem to only do small batch. That's their thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like they'd come up with some excuse like do the ocean, and they're like, well, we can't because they got Muslims in there. We don't want to.
Muslims in the ocean?
When they swim, sure, they swim.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's probably their main thing is we don't want to bring Bin Laden back to life. And if I bless this ocean with my powers, that guy's walking right out of here.
Yeah, true. Guess who's got some grounds to go to heaven now? Well, I think also, and the Bin Laden thing, I'm with, but also, these sharks are eating people in the waters. See, these people are like, a Catholic shark ate me, and they already got enough bad press to deal with. They want to throw that in the lot for him,
I don't know that Mary had a lot of bad press. I'd say of all people on earth, Mary had the best press.
I think he's referring to the pedophiles, the massive pedophilia ring.
Mary? You said Mary.
No, he said they. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I said that. I probably just said, I probably said something that's, I pronounced it funny, and you probably heard it differently.
Right. Priests I said this, and I'll say it 100. The thing that makes me the most mad about QAnon is that they were all ready to march into the Democrat-run pedophile ring, but they walked all past the church. No one seemed to want to stop at a church, do a quick dry run on all these priests that were convicted and did do legitimately, but they were like, nah, we'd rather go after Bill Clinton. It's with zero accusations of pedophilia.
And not to mention, jumping on what you said, agree 100%, not to mention new ones keep happening where it's like, at some point it's like, buddy, if you're a pedophile, you can't join the top pedophile club. Like they're going to get you. You know what I mean? Like there's new guys involved and it's like, what are you fucking nuts? You guys have been caught enough already.
Raise your hand, Anthony.
I think I have a solution. I agree with you. Why not just make a church that all the priests are pedophiles? You know what I mean?
It's called the church.
No, but I mean, there's like Bud Light, normal Bud. This will be, like one church where it's like All right, these are all open pedophiles
Let
at this
me
church.
ask you a question,
Yes,
Anthony.
great.
I'm going to ask you a very strict question here.
I was hoping
Now,
somebody would.
I hate to put you in this role, right? But let's say that they do this. They go, all right, this is the pedophile church.
Sure.
If you're a pedophile, right, and you're looking for action,
Right.
you're not going to join the church where no one is letting their kids go to,
I
right?
see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no
Mhm.
criminals aren't hanging out in the Bat Cave. That's where Batman is, right? So that might not have worked.
No,
but what I guess
but-
I'm
yeah, I get what
you know
you're
what I
saying.
mean? Like
Yeah.
if you're a pedophile, most of it is hanging in the darkness. And
Yeah.
the shadows are your friends as one of these, these
Right.
night creepers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I think Brendan had a different point.
Well, I agree with you 100%, but I also think this reeks of I think these guys, they're no dummies, and this reeks of like when like down in Texas they just call everyone with an outstanding warrant and say like, hey man, you won a boat, and then they come in and they get arrested,
Right.
like that's what's going to happen when they're like put out a flyer like, guess what guys, are you a pedophile? It's your lucky day. We're doing one church full of all of you. And it's like, that's clearly a sting operation.
Anthony, also, you got to think, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Let's say a priest comes out and says, hey, man, we're doing pedophile church, and you're a pedophile who's a priest. And you say, cool, what's the added bonuses? Are you going to have children there that we can do this to? And they're going to go, no, that's illegal. They go, well, then why am I outing myself as a pedophile to join your church? We're clear. Like, do you get a discount at the local Bennigan's? Like, what's the positive for pedophile priests to join this church? Maybe only if they're accused, they're forced to be in that church?
Well, I think if they do anything, it's not their fault then, because then people go.
You edit that. Let's get the timestamp on that. So we can cut that out of the podcast.
It's like, hey man, I had a beware of the dog sign up. You saw it. It was on the front door.
It says visitors will be shot. That's what it says. You can do what I want.
Right, well, not every idea is bought by the sharks.
Well, and I don't want to further just rip on it because I think it came from a good place, but I'd like to just ask one more question. Sure. Is priests aside, people with children aside, who are these people that would prefer that as their church anyway, even if you don't have kids? What do you?
A good sermon is a good sermon. My mom will say, she's like, look, I go to this guy on Thursday because he does the best one. The other guy barely knows English.
Well, yeah, I would say for people that are struggling with whatever they're struggling with, you got a guy up there who is openly battling his own pedophilia. It's gonna add a little bit of weight to the stories. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I do think also too in you'll probably be more open to confession when you know the guy on the other end of the horn is doing what he's up to.
When my Irish grandfather lived with us, he would go to mass every morning. He became more religious later in his life. He would go to mass every morning. And one time he went back to Ireland and he brought these like special altar candle. I don't know what they're called. They're like it's a religious thing that hold the candles on the altar. He bought them out of Waterford crystal. He didn't have a lot of money. He bought them, gave them to the nuns that run this, where he would go to mass, like around the corner from our house. They did not fit the type of candles they used. The nuns were very gracious, but they couldn't use them, but they kept them. They were very gracious, but they didn't use them. Grandfather stopped being a Catholic. Never went again. Did not find another place. Just said, fuck you. Yep. I bought you crystal. This thing's a sham.
I'm going to hell now for this.
Yeah.
Good for him. Isn't the whole basis of religion forgiveness? That's awesome. Man. All right. Well, let me get into my Valentine's Day thing.
Sure.
Right. I wanted to ask you guys about your Valentine's Day. That was just a quick aside.
Oh, yeah. No problem. This is how this podcast does a quick aside. An hour and 15 minutes.
Although I would like to say this.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And then I get into your thing. As much as I derailed Greg and feel bad about it, the salad bar thing did lead to some good juice. Of course.
Everything leads to good juice when you got LeBron James of not being able to stop talking in the room.
Here's the thing, and it's an apt analogy, Greg, because his best skill is a passer, but when needed to score, King James will deliver. And he seems impervious to age, much like you.
Me?
Yeah.
You think I'm not aging? I'm aging horrifically.
You down. I couldn't pinpoint your age down for $1 trillion.
I've always looked 10 more than I was. I had a girl say the other day, she goes, when I'm 50 like you, and I went, I am 32. It was when I was 32. She was like an 8-year-old girl. She was 31. I've had grays since day one, brother.
Man, that's great.
But I'll start moisturizing.
All right. You guys ready for my Valentine's Day thing?
Yeah.
2 words. Silk gun.
I don't know what you want me to do with those 2 words.
Yeah. Gonna need more words.
Yeah. Silk gun.
Silk gun.
To shoot silk, or a gun that will fall apart when you hold it because it's made of silk?
Or is it silk upholsteried? You know what I mean?
It turns whatever you've got into silk.
Oh, like a ray gun kind of deal. So you can shoot it at something and it turns into silk. That's a good idea.
I am racking my brain for applications here. And my God, if I can't find a single one except just the owner of a fortune off who's trying to sell bed sheets.
Well, I don't know what it is about silk, but it's a sexual material.
It's the most sexual of fabrics. Yes, it's the most sexual of fabric.
For whatever reason, silk has been decided upon as the most sexual of
I've been
fabrics.
trying to sell silk condoms, but I'll tell you the FDC will not approve them. The CDC will not say these are stopping diseases because because water goes right through them.
Can I say this, Stu? If you've ever seen a man rejected while wearing silk, it's a beautiful thing. Because if they're putting on silk, they're only putting on silk for one reason, and that's romance. I watched my Uncle Paul in a Caribbean bedroom in a pair of silk boxers get rejected by my Aunt Bev, and it was beautiful music.
Why were you watching?
Why were you there?
Why were you in this position?
Yeah. I thought you were out and about.
Yeah.
You were in the marital bedroom.
Make the boy watch.
Yeah, no, I was. I don't know why I was in there. It was nothing. Who knows?
I didn't know the bed again.
Yeah.
Our family. That's a good question as to why I was in there. I don't think it was. I had my shirt on. I remember that.
Well, thank God. I mean, not the first question I would ask, but probably the most important one.
Yeah.
If your Uncle Paul is trying to seduce your aunt in silk, I would hope all your clothes were on.
Yeah, I was going to say shirt, second most important question. Pants, really the most important.
Yeah, no, I had my pants. I think I might even had a basketball around my arm. I was in there. I was probably in there just because I like to see what they were doing because I would get, I'd get a little bored with my mom and grandma every now and again. And I remember him drunkenly trying to kiss my aunt in a pair of silk boxers. And I remember being like, I should probably go. And my aunt going, you think it's going to happen tonight, pal? Yeah, right.
Interesting that Aunt Bev's rejection was not something along the lines of not when Anthony is standing right there staring at us.
Well, I was a pretty shy kid.
Yeah, you might be blending in.
Yeah. I was very chameleon-like as a kid. Most people would think I was a piece of wallpaper, and then I would pop out and scare them.
I'd like to rehash something you had mentioned to me yesterday, if we could. My God, Anthony told me a little story about how his grandmother would hit him. Anthony would do something wrong, and then Grandma would wait till he would fall asleep and then hit him with a spoon because she couldn't catch him. Anthony, could you elaborate?
You can catch me during the day. At some point, she understood that I was too fast for her old bones, but she knew I wouldn't count on her crossing a line. The line being, if I fell asleep, she could get me in my sleep because I couldn't move. So I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up to the tap of a wooden spoon on my forehead. She did, that's when she'd get me.
That's such Italian vengeance shit, right?
Yeah.
It's like we don't let anything sleep, even if it's your grandkid.
No,
who did something wrong.
And it's so funny because, like, at her age, like, she probably wanted to sleep, was ready for bed and was like, I gotta stay up and hit Anthony with a spoon. I gotta wait up past my own bedtime, wait till he's in deep REM sleep and hit him in the head with a spoon. Not even that hard.
Yeah, and then they would sort of complain that I had issues falling asleep at night.
I couldn't imagine how you don't have issues falling asleep now.
First of all, they stuck me in a skeletal basement. That's to begin with.
No, you don't get to say
In a
skeletal
creaky
basement.
home.
No, that thing had a basketball. You had basketball hoops and Larry Johnson posters and Nintendos.
It didn't start that way, Greg. They filled that thing with toys because they put me in a goddamn kink dungeon for years.
If I remember correctly, I know very, very vague, but it was like an Italian basement. It had like a big Italian dinner table down there that never was used. If it was as if like a ghost. It was like an abandoned Italian family's home that had been left for years in that basement. Am I wrong?
Kind of felt that way. I mean, they did a lot of stuff. Nothing looks more dead than something that's supposed to have life. So they did a lot of stuff like, that's the bunk beds. Like, right. They wanted me to feel like I had company around me, but without company, it's so depressing. Oh, and then they're like, because you're like, company's supposed to be here, but it's not. And that's something sadder than that. And then I had a big fold out oval Yankee table with a Yankee emblem on it. That was, I could seat about 8, but there was always one of me.
So what you're saying is like when you're in a forest and you don't see other people, it's okay. It's a forest. Right. Exactly. If you're in a New York City and you don't see another person, it's spooky because people are supposed to be there. Yep. And that's why you had this Yankees poker table with no one to play, full basketball court. Yep. I can understand that. Your basement had a very like 80s feel to it too.
You were living like Will Smith in I Am Legend, except New York City was actually just your basement and you had the run of it. But yet all you wanted was your children to be alive again,
Yeah. Picture a carnival, but only with one boy.
I often think sometimes that all of your aunts had children, but you don't remember they all died or something. And you don't remember them because your grandma would hit you on the head every night with a spoon, cracking your old memory base.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if my brain, if they did a scan and they went, you're fine. Your brain's just a little loose. So that's why some things just don't connect sometimes, You're not dumb or smart. You got a little gap in between.
Hitting you at night is so funny. That's so funny. Makes sense. And it's so fucking crazy and great. Yeah.
I think for her, I think Italian people, vengeance is the same as like it's like a bodily function. You know what I mean? Where it's like, how you'll be like, I want to sleep, but I gotta pee. That's the way they feel about like a grudge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I found this kind of somewhat disturbing fact out about myself that I did not really know. I knew I climbed out of my crib like very early, and I've always known that, and I've seen it as a sign of great sportsmanship and athleticism, and that's why I refuse. Past a certain age, my baby won't be in a sleep sack because I want to see how soon it can climb out. What I did not know is my mom was telling Amy this. That for like years, I would, and they like at first my parents were concerned and would put me back in, and then they were just like, "That's how he sleeps." I would climb out of my crib, like starting when I was like 1. I would climb out of my crib, open a door, and sleep just with no blankets on a hardwood floor outside of my parents' bedroom. Every night for years, every night. And they gave up on putting me back in because they were like, he just does that. And that was my sleeping lifestyle from like the age of 1 to 5. And now I know that's why I don't like covers because I sleep on top of the covers, as everyone knows. I won't go under the covers. Yeah, I can't be nailed down. Right. And then my Valentine's story, as we're this tremendous Valentine's episode, really nailed the subject matter. God, we're really handcuffing ourselves with this new business, but I think we're doing well. I got a little something for it. Well, we're like Greg, we're not real big on Valentine's, but I got a little something for Amy and a card and stuff and a few little things. And I said it was from me and the baby, and then she, thanked the baby and went over and kissed her. So then my own insecurities, I had to go, no. It was from me. It was from me. I just said that, but I did it. Right. And she goes, I knew that, Brendan. You know, it's a pathetic.
You thank the baby first, which I think is
that's the thing. Yeah, it's like, come on, you know, what's that? You know, I got it. You know, I did it. That baby can't drive.
Yeah,
very well.
My brother used to live. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
Well, we all share our actual Valentine's story, so I might as well share my own. On Valentine's Day every year, Julie and I go to the top of the Empire State Building. We throw toothpicks at all the hot air balloons in the sky. So,
as everyone knows, the Empire State Building is teeming with hot air balloons around it, like it's a 1940s steampunk era.
They love to allow hot air balloons just a freedom of airspace around New York City, particularly post 9/11. Fly a hot air balloon wherever the fuck you want.
Well, when you think of that New York City skyline, you think hot air balloons. Everyone knows it.
Well, we're a strange sexual couple, so we get off on these kind of things. But because of the pandemic, I guess there are no the hot air balloons are flying at 10% capacity this year, so we couldn't do that. So instead, we stayed home and fought each other.
Man, you have nothing. You used to throw toothpicks at a hot air balloon, and then you dismounted with we fought each other.
Well, we're enrolled in a Zoom fight club.
There we go.
So then we're, and it just happened to be that Valentine's Day this year landed on the one of the classes.
Right. Yeah, they don't reschedule.
Yeah, they don't reschedule at all. But in all honesty, what happened was we're not gonna get each other anything. That was the thing. We're not gonna get each other anything because treat every day like a poem. And my mom got in my head because she always gets in my head about holidays because they're very big for her. And then eventually I'll let her psychosis seep into me, and I go, I got to get something for Julia. Yeah. And then I got her some, I don't know, bullshit gold necklace, and I wrote like a thoughtful card and gave her roses. But
that's so much stuff.
It's so much. This is
roses.
This is a humble brag. Oh, I got her a bullshit golden necklace.
It's not real gold. Her whole chest will be green in a week. Oh. Not my mom's eyes. My mom was like, it wasn't. My mom goes, if it's not real gold, it's not even worth getting.
She's right.
Right. I mean, I don't agree. That's why I didn't get her anything, because I couldn't get real gold.
Yeah.
Shit.
That was, So, hopefully Cuomo will allow these hot air balloons to fly again, because I can't take another Valentine's Day like the one I had.
It's devastated the industry, because they said to those guys, they go, look, you're fine. You just got to operate at 25% capacity. And those guys go, hey, man, my capacity is 2. So
yeah,
what do you want? So I can get a kid? That's it. 1 kid. I can take a kid up. That's it. They don't pay.
I'd like to circle back to something Brendan said on hot air balloons being not being able to fly so much after 9/11. I'd like to argue that the attacks on the September 11th buildings had zero bearings on hot air balloons, as I couldn't imagine any hot air balloon doing anything to a building as they travel so slow. The big problem for hot air balloons in New York City is called tanglement. Okay, those things will get tangled in almost anything. And skyscraper, it is not the buildings you need to be careful of.
Well, there's where you're wrong, my friend. Now, tanglement, yes, tanglement has always been an issue, and that's day one in hot air balloon captaincy class is tanglement and how to avoid it. But man, you pack a hot air balloon with explosives, you've got way more. A plane.
Hope it goes towards a building.
You got to look at the wind. You got to judge the wind. Wait for the right day. You take a reading of the wind, and then you take your takeoff point.
You take off
your math right.
You take off at JFK. 80% of those exploding hot air balloons are over the Hudson. All right, It's all ending like the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Brendan,
Right,
you sounded like a guy at an ISIS meeting who goes, you don't talk for a month now after that proposal. Yeah. I do wonder, though, and I do think it's funny that the hot air balloon industry after 9/11 happened would go, shit, this isn't going to be good for us.
Yeah. And then the CIA went, you're fine. You're totally fine. We can take you out with a blowgun.
Yeah. I wonder if they looked upon like dentists or looked upon as doctors. You know what I mean? Where they're just like, we're pilots too, and they're like, you're a guy in a basket. Shut up.
Right. You're a guy with a rope.
Yeah, you pull a rope. You're like the guy who rings the bells at church. That's all you do. In fact, often they recruit from them. Like, is that guy ringing the bells at Notre Dame? See if he wants to fly the fucking hot air balloon. Same thing. Same concept.
What kind of GPS you got in there? Garmin? Doesn't matter because none of this shit means anything because you have zero control over this.
Yeah, zero. I've said this before because I was very curious. I was so curious about hot air balloons and how they land that I looked it up. And I've talked about it before in the podcast. Pretty much the captain of a hot air balloon, his main concern is from the time they launch, he needs to immediately start looking for a safe place to land. That's his whole job because that's why you can only fly hot air balloons near fields and parking lots because that's really all the only place they can land.
I didn't go on it, but the only hot air balloon I've ever seen in real life was one. It was in a field, and the whole thing was it was attached to a rope, so it just went up. And the rope kept it, and then it went down the rope. And it was like, well, this is genius, right?
Yeah.
The thing doesn't go anywhere. It just goes up, and they pull the motherfucker down. And it was like, well, that's like a fun hot air. You just get to see the height without having to have the fear of going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan.
Business idea I'd like to submit to you based off your idea, so you would be.
Not my idea. That's real. Real.
I think I've seen that too. Never thought about it. Hot air balloons. What's the problem? Don't know where we're going, right? Then this person solves it. Let's go nowhere. We've got a rope. Combine those two ideas, tie it to a car.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah. Hot air balloon
tie it to a car. You go wherever you want. Yeah.
It'll drag you around. Just hope you don't get any street wires.
The
entanglement issue.
Go to entanglement.
Wait, walk me through what the car does in this scenario.
Drives.
I mean, how do you not see this? There's a rope attached to a car in the hot air balloon. The car drives around, it drags the hot air balloon in the air.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Wait, hold on, because now I've got questions. What were you thinking was happening?
I thought instead of a bat, I'm not sure what I was thinking.
You thought you would be in the car and the balloon would raise the car. Yeah. No, I'm saying tie the basket and the whole rig to the car. Car drives around like you're water skiing, takes you wherever you want to go. But Greg brings up a great point. Entanglement's going to be huge on that.
Just attach a basket to a bunch of drones. I mean, how is the air balloon still even happening? Drones will get you everywhere now. Just get a bunch of drones attached to a chair and fly around.
Or not only that. Is there anyone doing a hot air balloon with a propeller? Has anyone even tried to improve hot air balloons?
Well, because what'll happen is the propeller will plane. Yeah, they went plane.
Invented a plane, Brendan.
No, but I mean in the hot air balloon community, like some steering in a hot air balloon,
right? Like a motorboat.
I'd feel safer on a kite, if I'm being honest with you. A kite is safer.
A glider, hang glider. That's what a hang glider is. A big old kite.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang gliding seems so much fun. If not for, man, I wish I can't get around the impending doom of me falling to my death. And if I could get over that, man, hang gliding seems like a great time. I mean, I've been skydiving before, but I don't think I would do it now. You know what I mean?
You know how you want to go hang gliding?
Yes.
No, you do? Then tell me.
Oh, I thought you were asking. You know how I want to go. I thought.
So do you know how you want to go? How you want to go hang gliding?
How does he want to go hang gliding?
VR. That's what you do. You just go VR now. VR, and you put a fan in your room.
Fan. Yeah.
You don't need to do this. You do VR.
Yeah.
A fan plus VR can get you so many places. Like go stand on a hill, get a fan. You're skiing. You know what I mean? Like anything. With VR and a fan can be accomplished.
Why don't we do that as a podcast advertising event where we rent out a studio in Manhattan? We call it the Rad DudeCast VR room, and we just get a fan, and you put an Oculus on, and then we provide the environment. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you this. Let's even do one better, right? What we do is we get these people a VR headset, right? You're gonna be in the Rad DudeCast world, but we can't afford VR. We just give them a pair of broken sunglasses, and then we're just in the room with them. We just let their real eyes see us. Yeah. And like, does it feel like we're touching you? We just smack them in the face.
Yeah,
it's like we don't got to get the technology.
I've got another one too.
All right,
and I think that's great. I'm just wondering, what if there's no VR? There's a room, there's fans, we're there. We go free water on the house, and that water is laced with psilocybin mushrooms. So, and these people drink it, they go somewhere else, and we put a bunch of exactly what Greg is saying. We put a fake pair of headphones, you know what I mean? Sure, these are VR. There's a VR machine, and then next thing you know, they're having the trip of their lifetime.
And I got a guy. I can get us a deal on a bunch of empty ski goggles, no lenses. Yeah, so that's all you need, right? Yeah, you dose them. You give them a couple of no lens ski goggles, and they think they're. Who knows where they think they are? Mike, I know you're in a hotel, but I feel like we've been going for 75 hours. Yeah.
He left.
No,
probably
Greg just asked the exact same thing.
I thought we were about an hour at this point.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I thought we were going long. I'm not complaining about that. I was like, I thought we were making a calculated effort to go long.
No, we're done.
Sweet. I think we hit Valentine's Day pretty good.
Yeah, we didn't do the impeachment, but I'm over it.
That's for next time, or none times.
And if you think I didn't talk about Gina Carano on 15 different topics podcast as the Mandalorian guy who's got to cover this and then get it. This is how people, let me just say, this is how people ask me about Gina Carano. Greg, you're in the Mandalorian. What do you think about the Gina Carano thing? And then I go, here's what I think. And they go, let me tell you what you think. And then I'm going to talk for an hour.
Yeah, that's
what everyone else.
Sounds like a good time.
So funny that Greg, you're a fan of a show this lady was an actress on. You must know all the ins and outs of her personal opinions. And it's like, anyway, that's the Rad DudeCast. If you want merch, we got some great stuff on teespring.com/stores/Rad DudeCast. Check that out. We've got there's some cool masks and like neck gaiters and stuff. I would recommend shirts, the whole deal. I would say follow the Rad DudeCast on all the platforms, really, at the Rad DudeCast, and then follow all of our individual socials where we're really hitting some Instagram stories hard. A lot of fun these days. And then if you're interested in some bonus content, go to patreon.com. /Rad DudeCast. You get an extra episode every week, a bunch of fun tiers, bunch of cool stuff happening over there. I personally, for my plugs, I will be at the Comedy Attic Friday and Saturday, February 26th and 27th. And that is in Bloomington, Indiana. So, I've ceded the floor to the gentleman from the other gentleman.
Oh, man. Can I say this? I think it's kind of fun that we do the intro in the beginning of what we're going to talk about, just because then by the end of the episode, people can go, well, this is what they tried to do. You know what I mean? Like,
that's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun. It's maybe a little backwards. I have no idea, but I think it's hilarious. So, and I think we kind of say in the chit chats what we did. So I'm fine with it, man. You know?
No, I love it. I think it's actually a really fun way to do a podcast. Yeah. Is that this is how we're starting. We're going to try to talk about Valentine's Day, but we might talk about a priest of church that only lets pedophiles, because that's the new business plan. That might be what you get.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I got some dates coming at you. February. Why
don't you look it up? I can talk for a minute and you get your dates right.
I got it. February 20th, I'll be at City's Team in Hartford, Connecticut, 8:00. March 3rd, I'll be at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And that's it.
Great. You should follow me on my YouTube. I'd appreciate everybody if you guys go to my YouTube page and hit subscribe, and Instagram. It's Greg F. Stone. Just write Greg Stone Comedy. You'll find me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm trying to get some Instagram and YouTube followers. It'd be nice. That's really about it. And check out Mike's Suarez and all the things Mike is doing. He's great.
He's great.
His Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Mike V. Suarez or some shit.
I think that's it, actually. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Mike's great. And that's all she wrote, as they say in baseball.
That's what they say in baseball. Whoa, shit, I hit almost the wrong button.
Baseball.
All right, see you guys.
The Rad DudeCast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.